Quick training today on the magic of 12. This is something that I learned from a guy that was making $100,000 a month in network marketing. And when he sat down to show it to me, I actually took notes, and I decided that if somebody's making 100 grand a month and I was overdrawn in my checking account at the moment, that I might want to take all of my preconceived notions of network marketing, or what had worked for me at the time and what wasn't working for me at the time. And the reality is, the reason I'm still here after 40 years is because I was a student of the business. And sometimes being a student of the business will take you down some paths that you shouldn't be going down, or some paths that you'll come back that you can't believe that you survived it, or you can't believe they do things like that. But the great thing about my 40-year career, which I'm working on a book, is to share everything with not only your team, but you're able to compact everything that you've learned, the trial and error. It's almost like being a parent, where you're talking to I'm talking to my 15-year-old son when he's out driving right now, and I'm telling him about being a defensive driver. I'm talking to him about not jamming on the brakes, about not jerking the wheel. And so as a parent, you're able to say, hey, look, I've been driving for 50 years or 40 years. You might want to listen to me. And he does. So this is what I call going 12 wide in the network marketing business model. And there's going to be some things today that I say that you're going to want to play back again and again and again, because again, this is $100,000 a month training. This is the math. This is stuff I learned back in 1992 and 93. And guess what? It still applies to 2020. Why? Why does this still work, Robert? Why does this old school stuff, you keep talking about it, why does it work? Because you're still dealing with the same thing, the same asset. And that asset is people. People are predictable. I'll say that again. People are predictable. They have been from the age of time. And by going through the numbers and knowing the numbers and the math, for me, it wasn't like it scared me, because some people I'll show this to and they just, their jaw drops and they go, oh, I could never put in 12 people. And so that's your job then, to identify and sort people who think they can, and those that can't, then you have a little Saturday meeting with them and you give them some confidence, right? So the idea of going 12 wide, I learned in a Stairstep breakaway. And for those of you that are not familiar with what a Stairstep breakaway is, go Google it. I'm not going to give you the long-term version. The Cliff Notes version is, a Stairstep breakaway is, let's say this person reached 10,000 in volume, then you were making 5 to 30% on them based on where you were. And once they break away, you're making a fixed commission, like 3 or 4%, and their group breaks away from your regular pay. There's some great things about Stairstep breakaways, and there's some bad things about Stairstep breakaways. So the idea was to go out and get 12 people wide as fast as possible. And what I was taught is to go put 12 people in 12 weeks, not 12 months. As we know, success likes speed. Network marketing likes speed. Eric Worre mentioned that years ago in 2012 when I was speaking at his convention. And I had never heard it that way, but I was always taught to go fast. I just never heard it coined that way. I never knew the airplane analogy, which made so much sense to me, but I was already doing that. So go out and put 12 people wide as fast as possible. I like to put them in groups of 4, whatever that is, 1 a week minimum. Sometimes you can put in 4 people in 1 week, then you skip a week, whatever. But at the end of that 12-week period, you want 12 people in, whether that be a customer or a rep. Now, at our program, what we do is we do $4.95 to get them in the door. We lose money on the first order. We pay 2.5 CV on that. It's got a product sample in it. It's a postcard. It gets mailed out to them. So we manufacture the product. We manufacture the postcard. We attach it together. We have somebody pick, pack, and ship it. They stuff it in the envelope. They label it. It goes out, and we pay commissions on 50% of that volume. We lose money on that order. So why would I want to lose money in business, Robert? Well, it's because it's like selling concert tickets to the Rolling Stones, right? They're not $495. They're general admission for $4.95. You want to watch the Rolling Stones? You got $5? Here, here's a ticket. Don't tell anybody, but get in the back and just get your ass up in the rafters and don't tell anybody. Man, everybody would come in because I love the Rolling Stones. I want to make extra money. but I don't have $495. Great, come in for $4.95. That lowers the bar because I know everybody that comes in at the beginning, not everybody, that's too general. The majority of people don't have the self-confidence. They don't have the skill sets. They've never been in business before. They don't know what they're doing. They just, their best friend's excited, they're excited, right? So the idea is teaching people the business. This business is so simple. We make it so complicated. The idea is, if I give you our sample of our coffee, will you try it? Great. It's $4.95. By the way, you get a replicated website, you get an ID number, you can start recruiting immediately. You're a customer, you don't become a rep or a connector till you get another customer. How many people you know drink coffee? Boom. So we can get 12 people in 12 weeks real quickly. Don't do it in 12 months. The difference between putting in 12 people in 12 weeks versus 12 months is it's monstrous. The difference in the effectiveness, okay? So what's going to happen to you, this is what happens to me, is that out of these 12 people that you put in, you're going to identify over the next few weeks or the few months, 4 people. 4 people will identify themselves to you by raising their hand by doing this. They're going to give you a list of names. They're going to show up at the conference call. They're going to be on the Zoom call. They're going to go join your fan page. They're going to actually respond whenever you call them or you text them. These are people that are engaging. You're going to have 4 people that will engage. All 12 of these people, what I'm trying to do for them before their head hits the pillow, because in Amway, what we used to say is why they were so successful, and I'm an old Amway guy, is that the night that they signed up, we had sheets of paper that were 2-part carbonless. We would not let anybody leave the meeting. And if they had to leave the meeting, we went home with them. I'm serious. I'm dead serious about this. And we would not let their head hit the pillow that night until we got a list of 100 names. Now, we wouldn't always get that 100, but at least we get one sheet filled out, which was 25. So our sponsor said, look, as soon as you let them go, they're going to go to work. Everyone's going to, nix them. Oh, you joined Amway. Oh, you're in one of those pyramid deals. They're going to call back and say, here's my kit. We haven't used it. My wife says, no, I want my money back. Got to get those names. The reason why, because if you change your mind, they got your names. That was the asset. The asset is what? It's people. It's not, I can't go build a business on my own. I can't do it. I need my team's contacts to do that. That's multiplication. That's multi-level marketing. Okay. Yes, it's network marketing, but it's paid multiple levels. And the only way you can do that is to tap into other people's contacts. The old movie, 6 Degrees of Separation. Go watch that movie this weekend. It's on Netflix. It's awesome. It shows you the same. Like right now, I'm 2 people away from President Clinton. My best friend from high school, his ex-brother-in-law is an attorney, and his firm represented the Clintons. Okay, so whether you like Clinton or not doesn't matter. I mean, are you 2 people away from one of the former presidents? I mean, that's the idea of networking. So the idea is you want to go 12 wide as fast as possible. By doing so, you're going to ask those 12 people to engage in some kind of a methodology of gathering names from them. And for us, it's like, who do you know that we can go out and we're going to send samples to the same day? We got people coming in and we're getting 4 or 5 people that are going to their website and getting $4.95 samples. And those people that don't want to give you any names and say, hey, great, whenever you're ready, let me know. Here's the call time, boom, boom, boom. Check in with them once a week, drip on them, leave them the heck alone. Do not camp out on them. The reason why most people camp out on their downlines is because they got 1 person in or 2 people and they're waiting for those people to go out and make them rich. You got to go hustle and get 12. When you do hustle and get 12, you'll identify 4 people that will engage in the activity that you and your team want. Now, here's what's great about that. What works in width works where? It also works in depth. Okay? So you want to also go 12 deep as fast as possible. So whatever works in width works in depth. Why? Because you're dealing with what? People. So you want to go 12 deep as fast as possible in that leg, as fast as possible. When we were doing the Concorde Group years ago, gosh, back in 2000, 2001, we had a power line system, which I wouldn't recommend doing today, where we gave away sponsorships. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. We gave away sponsorships. The idea was on a cocktail napkin, me and a few of my friends were in Tijuana, and we were all single guys in Tijuana, and on a cocktail napkin, I drew this out. And I said, look, what's the number one problem in network marketing? People don't make money. What's the number one reason why people quit? They're not making any money. And so over a few cocktails, I said, you know, what would it be like if everybody got a check? And everybody goes, we don't know, you tell us. And so I was making it up as I was going along, and I go, well, imagine us creating a system, because I was a leads guy. I go, I'll help with the leads, but create a system where everybody got a check. So I drew it out. We had a 3-tier program, pretty much like we do at Felice Cafe. I wonder where I got that. And we got a $65 check for spending $155. We had 2 other pin levels they could come in at, 25 or 50 CV, but we made everybody come in at 100 CV. They called it BV back then. Everyone the table said, Blackman, nobody's going to come in for 155 plus shipping, which is 170 or 180, only to get a $65 check. And I said, I think you're wrong. Well, we need an option for 25 or 50. I go, no, because once you start forcing people to make a decision, the decision they make is, I can't make a decision on my own. Because they're not used to making decisions at work, most likely. And if you're married, you're usually waiting for your wife to tell you what to do, or you have to make a joint decision. So the idea was, we wanted one product. That's the idea I came up with. We got to have one. Look, you're either in or you're out at 155. And if you do, you're guaranteed to get a $65 check. Nobody thought it would work. I knew it would work because I'd already talked to enough people that said, if I could just show my wife even a little tiny check, I can stay in. So the idea was, let's get everybody a check. So we built up a power line system. We pre-enrolled people for free. We'd go down to the bottom of that leg. Let's say there was 50 deep, and we called number 50, and we promised them everything in the world except give them a credit card. And as soon as they got a credit card, it would trigger notices to 49 people that you have a check waiting. You got till Wednesday night at midnight. Fear of loss, prospect of gain. What are the 2 greatest human emotions known to mankind? Fear of loss, prospect of gain. And out of those 2, what do you think is the number 1? You think it's prospect of gain? No, it's fear of loss. People are more afraid to lose something than to gain something, because we're all taught to gain something, you usually got to do some work, and to not just miss out on a check, all you do is put in your credit card. So 18 months and 80,000 paid members and 1.8 million opt-ins later, that was the Concorde Group. They then moved that to another company. They tried to replicate that success. It didn't work. I'm not going to go into the reason why. I know why it didn't work, but it was pretty cool. If we're ever at a convention and you want to know, hit me up at a bar and buy me a club soda and lime, and I'll tell you. So anyway, so whatever works in width works in depth. So when you work in depth, then what are we going to find, Robert? We're going to find what? We're going to find 4 people, right? 4 people. Doesn't have to be 4 in a row, but let's say this, for purposes of my whiteboard and limitation, let's say that we went 12 deep into that leg. You're going to identify 4 people. That's going to be what we call a taproot. That's going to lock that volume and that leg in, because we learned from the Concorde Group that if I could give you a $65 check, you would be willing to stay on auto ship for $155 almost forever, because you believe there's something magical about when you walk out to that mailbox and you go through your bills and there was a check with your name on it, and you open it up before you even walk to the front door and it had $65 on it. I remember running in, Sherry, look, we got a check. So we would lock these people in, lock these legs in. We would go wide, and for us, what we would do is we would actually go 3 deep. So if this was you, we'd go 1, 2, 3. And as soon as we had 3 paid people in it, then we'd go to the other leg and we'd do that again. So 3 deep was the magic number back then, all I could talk people into, but at the same time, it was a 3-tier compensation plan. So that was the $65 check. The problem was we gave people away, And when you give people away, what happens? It creates kind of a welfare system where everyone says, well, they've already built me one leg of $65. Maybe they'll build me another one. And when we didn't, there was resentment. There was miscommunication of the field. So we started getting people from the bottom up, because that message, it's the old adage, you get 12 people sitting around a circle and one person, says something, and by the time he gets to the 12th person, it's totally different. By the time it got 12, 20, 30 levels deep about what we were really doing, the message got convoluted. The message wasn't that we got a $65 check. The message was, all you're going to do for me is $65, and I promise you that they're going to do more. So don't give away your people. What you should do, though, is you should help this person right here. You should help them go 3 deep. This person right here that you personally enrolled right here, this is your personal enrollee, you should go out and you should help them go get 3 deep with their leads, their people. So there's a difference between giving away sponsorships versus helping people sponsor. Say that again. There's a difference between giving away your sponsorships. I would not put 4 or 3 pre-enrollees underneath them myself, or personally enrolled people. I wouldn't do it, because that's mine. Even if I got a fast start bonus on them, because then I'm creating what? A welfare system for this person. They're going to expect it. But if I tell Johnny here, look, get your name list, and I'm going to help you go 3 deep, and that's what we do here at Fleece Cafe, because we're paying $5, $40, $10, so we get a $55 check. And I go, Johnny, would you like to get the $55 check as fast as possible? Let's get together on Saturday morning. Let's get your name list together, and let's see how many coffee samples that we can give away, or how many people we can sign up at $4.95. Go to work for Johnny. I'm going 12 wide to find how many Johnnies will go to work with me and go 3 deep as fast as possible. Okay? So that's the difference. So whenever you're in a unilevel, which is what we are at Fleece Cafe, you're in a Stairstep breakaway, you want to go 12 wide as fast as possible. If you're in a binary, which I've been in those, then you want to go 12 deep as fast as possible in each one of those legs. Because whatever works in width works where? It works in depth as well too. So the idea is you've got to create a system to where not only do you teach going 12 wide or 12 deep as fast as possible, they've got to be able to believe it. Most people have never put in 12 people in their network marketing business their entire life. It's mainly because they've been left alone. They've been said, look here, they come in at a $500,000 kit, you make your $250 to $500 fast start, and part of you, I've been there, doesn't care or hopes and prays that Johnny does it, but what you're so busy doing because you're on the fever of the $250 and $500 fast starts. You get 10 of those this month, you're making $2,500 to $5,000. You are so busy salivating for those fast starts or coding bonuses that you leave these people behind. And it's addictive. I've been there. I mean, if you're a sponsoring person, if you're a recruiter, if you're somebody that has a system and you can drive people, what you're doing when you're putting that many people in and you're not taking care of people, you're leaving them behind. So the idea is, I made $500 off you and good luck. Because I got to go, I like making $500 and I'm going to go do that again and again and again. So we turn into network marketing salespeople, smart people, aggressive people, traditional business people, especially people that are in financial straits, people who are good salesy talking people will become addicted to those fast starts and coding bonuses, and they don't want to build a team. And they're out in a year because their downline goes away because they're going, I love Robert, but man, I can't ever get the guy on the phone. And I see he's the top recruiter all the time, but he's the worst sponsor ever because I can't get him on the phone. He won't ever do anything with me. So that's the idea. 12 wide, you're going 12 deep, and you're trying to identify out of every 12, I'll write this down for you. Out of every 12, you're looking for 4 immediately. Now, you may get 2 right now, but in 3 or 4 months, you may identify those 4 people. And I go 12 wide and I stop, okay, as far as putting people in. I make sure I mentally and physically stop to come back and make sure I've identified those 4 people. as I'm going to build those 12, I'm always taking a step back. I put one in, I step back. I put one in, I step back. What am I stepping back for? I'm stepping back to make sure that this person here, Mary, feels that she's taken care of, that she's being taught and trained, that she's acting like the only person I have in the business. And I'm getting her name list from her. I'm finding out what Mary's story is. Is she a president of the bank and she can't talk to anybody locally, or she can't do anything in social media? Or she want to do some co-ops on advertising with us? Does she like to call leads? Is Mary a florist? And can she put our product at her place of business? And she loves social media. And she's doing Facebook Lives in her, back in the floral store with your product or service. Find out their story. Find out how you can help them penetrate their warm market. Their warm market is so important for you. Don't jump straight to the cold market. You've got to go to the warm market of people that know, like, and trust them. So if Mary pops her head up somewhere, goes, hey, isn't that Mary? Or, hey, that's Mary. What are you doing? It's like if you see somebody at a restaurant, hey, I'm going to go by here and talk to John. Or I see John over here. You go by, hey, John, how's it going? Shake his hand, boom, boom, boom. Same thing here. So as you go 12, as you're racing to go 12 in 12 weeks, you want to make sure that you're not leaving people behind. When you leave people behind, it's very difficult to get them to come back. That's why the same day that they taught us in Amway is you want to get their leads, at least 25 before their head hits the pillow that night. And so that way, if they quit, you got what? You got their names. You have their asset. So the idea is also this. This is what I teach. For every 100 people that we make in names, we're going to go out and get 3 referrals or 300 people. And what I teach my folks to do mentally and emotionally is I tell them that we're going to make a list of 100 names, and I don't want you to expect any of those people to join. None of them. And they're going to go, well, then why do it? I mean, that's kind of stupid, Robert. And I go, because we're going to get an average of 3 referrals from all those people, and that's going to turn into 300. And those people that you don't know will be better prospects and candidates for you than the people that you personally know. Unless, of course, you have a downline of people, and then that's a little bit different story. But just the average Joe it's easier for me to get let's say I'm going out and talking to a friend of mine, my best friend Mike, and I say, Mike, Sherry and I are real excited. We just got involved in this business. We give you a sample of our coffee. Will you try it? Mike tries it, and he's kind of whatever. I say, well, Mike, that's okay. I didn't think you'd be interested anyway, but will you help Sherry and I out? Will you give us the names of all the coffee drinkers you have at work? Well, Mike's going to have no more than 3 coffee drinkers, or 3 people that want to lose weight, 3 people that want to secure their retirement, just 3 people that want to XYZ, whatever the benefits of your product or service. It doesn't have to be coffee, okay? You can insert any benefit that you have. For us, it's simple. 3 coffee drinkers at least, right? So then we get a list of 10 or 12 names from Mike, and I call people. Let's say the first name is John. Hey, John, my name's Robert. You don't know me, but we have a mutual friend in Mike. And my wife, Sherry, and I started a new coffee business. And Mike says, you drink coffee at work, right? Well, boom. Well, I'd like to send you a sample. If I send you a sample, will you try it? Well, sure. Well, what's John going to do when he gets off the phone with me? He's going to call Mike and go, who's this Robert guy? He goes, I went to high school with him. He's a great guy. He's got a coffee business. Timing's not right for me, but you know what? He wants to meet with you, or he wants to get you on a call. Do it. Robert's a good guy. Boom. I have a better relationship now in network marketing with John than I do with Mike. Mike knew what I did in high school, okay? And those weren't good things. Thank God we didn't have cell phones in high school. And so John doesn't know anything about me. All John knows is Mike said I was okay. John's excited to get on that Zoom call. John's excited to watch the video, read the PDF, try the coffee. He'll meet with me if I'm local. John's excited about sharing. Yeah, I know lots of people that drink coffee. You can make money passing out coffee samples. Holy moly cow. And so, boom. Then when John comes in, what do? I call Mike and say, hey, Mike, you remember John? He's coming in. I got his app. Are you ready to come in? If you do, I'll put him under you. If not, I'm taking it and I'm running with it, baby. That's how we do the business. So by telling people up front, those 100 aren't going to do anything, then they're not sitting there scared when you're doing calls, and they're not afraid to contact them. You know, are you afraid to contact 100 people that you already think aren't going to do anything? No, you're going through the numbers. So that's what I teach real quickly, and that's what I'll teach today is go 12 wide. And if you're in a binary, go 12 deep as fast as possible. Because by going 12 wide or 12 deep, you will identify 4 people that want to do the business with you, or they'll engage in doing the business with you. And as you're doing this, you can always come back. And then what do I do after I identify 4 out of the 12? What's the next thing I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing after I do that? Let's say that I go 12 wide and I find 4 that go 4 deep. What am I doing then, do you believe? I'm going another 12 wide. And I go get 4. And then what do? I go another 12 wide. The strategy is by teaching people to go 12 wide, you'll be glad if they go 6 wide, right? But by stretching, you know, it's the old adage, a man's mind once stretched never returns to its original size or original point. So you have to stretch the mind of your organization. And by the challenge I have in some programs is that you only have to do this, or to get to the top of the thing, you just need 3 who do 3, or 1 on your left, 1 on your right. To me, I think that's maybe accurate, but I think psychologically, and remember, to me, the business is more about psychology today because it's about people than it is mathematics, than it is systems, than it is product or services. I have a master's, a doctorate degree in psychology of network marketing. I mean, once I die, they open up my brain. I mean, there's going to be so many secrets in there that even I don't remember. But the point is, I understand people better than probably anybody in my family ever has or ever wanted to, or any of my friends do. It's because I've talked to more people in 40 years. I've had a burning desire to never work for anybody else. Blackman, why have you made it this 40 years? My God, why? Because I don't want to work for somebody else. Because I've had my own traditional business and it about killed me. It threw my back out. Over and over and over again, lifting paper all the time, bending over printing presses all my life for 20 years. So I had a reason why to sit down and listen and to go to these conventions and listen to leaders and piece together things that I heard and then go out and apply them. So by telling your team, we're going to go 12 wide in the next 12 weeks, what do they think they got to do to build a business? They got to go 12 wide in 12 weeks, not 12 months. I teach it. I tell them that's what they've got to do to find 4. And in our program, 4 who get 4 is what we call a 20 club. And a 20 club makes $660 if everybody's at 100 CV. Real simple. If I could show you how to make $660 a month with just 20 customers, is that something you'd be interested in seeing? That's what I say all day long. If I will give you a sample, will you try it? And if I could show you how to make $660 with just 20 customers, would you be interested in seeing that? That's it all day long. So I'm showing people. See, there's a method to the madness. Figure out your math in your program. If this is just math, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be in our program. You don't have to be in a compressed unit level. You mean this works anywhere because it's people. You get a check in the hand of anybody, as I've already told you. We built the #1 still today, 20 some odd years after implementing that system. Nobody's even touched that system. Why? Because we got everybody a check. There was a lot of issues with that, a lot of problems. I'm not going to talk about the CFO calling me and saying there was $200,000 in returns. There was 2 UPS trucks that backed up. And what the hey, Robert, we have $200,000 in returns this month. We got to stop this. There was a lot of things that people didn't even know what they were involved with. And if you're ever going to do a system, you need some help, please. There's a lot of things I can tell you what we did wrong. But what we did right is we tapped into human psychology. Prospective gain, fear of loss. You got to have a form of that into what you're doing. My prospective gain for my people is if we go 12 wide, we'll identify 4 and that'll help build that 20 club. And you still want to make that $660 a month, right, Jimmy? Yeah, I do. All right. That's the prospective gain. What's my fear of loss? Jimmy, I work with as you can imagine, I'm going 12 wide. And if you can't get that list of names to me, and if you're not serious, then I'm going to go work with somebody else right now that is. So are you serious about doing this? Are you really, truly wanting to? Because I'm here. I'll work for you. I'll outwork you. Okay. So the fear of loss is if I don't get this stuff together, Robert may not work with me, or Robert's going to, if I don't meet with Robert on Saturday, it's like a headhunter calling you, right? If you got your job out on Monster, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, whatever it is, you're looking for a job, you're out of work. They call you and say, hey, we got an interview set up on Saturday at 9 o'clock for you, phone interview. Well, there's a wedding that you were going to. What are you doing now? You're skipping the wedding for the job interview, right? Fear of loss. If I don't go to that job interview, I may not get that job, and I'll never have any money to even drive to a wedding. So I'm sorry, honey, I can't go to our best friend's wedding. I got this job interview. Or I'm going to do the job interview in the car outside in the parking lot, right? Fear of loss is the number one motivating factor for people today. And you need to have a fear of loss and a prospect of gain in your sales pitch, in your presentation for both your prospects and for your downline members, and also for you. Every single day I have a fear of loss. I've got a business card up here that shows where I worked before for a company as a sales manager. I put it up there as a reminder that if I don't do my job, I could be back working for somebody else. I've got my largest month of sales or income is over $300,000, a bank statement sitting up there that shows me prospect of gain. So personally, I do it to myself. I'm not immune to falling for the idea that I could become complacent and still make money, be a little bit lazy. We all have that propensity to not want to get up and go to the gym, right? Not want to work out. I've got it now. So I put things in place. Prospect of gain, fear of loss, go 12 wide to find 4, go 12 deep to identify 4, give them the idea of getting those 100 names as fast as possible. None of those 100 are going to join. So when they call their first 3 friends and they don't join, but they give a few coffee drinker referrals or referrals for your weight loss shake or your legal services, whatever, they're going to get off the phone as you get off to call. You know what, Robert, you're right. No, but you said these people wouldn't be interested, but they give us referrals. Wow, this is easy. But when you call people and you're expecting and anticipating, well, we got to get these people in. Oh, he didn't get in. Oh, I don't want to go through this pain. No, let's stop calling now. Let's not call any more of my family and friends because this is embarrassing. We're 0 for 4 and they're all going to talk, boom, they're blown out of the water. Don't do that to yourself and your team. Just tell them, say, hey, out of these 100, no one's probably going to join right now. They might later. But what we're really looking for is to get that name list from 100 to 300. So are you okay with that? You understand how that works? So we're going to try to get an average of 3 referrals from each friends. Of your friends. And how you say that is real simple, and I'll be done here because I could talk on this all day. Is when you're calling your family and friends and you're asking them, hey, I want you to do this, and can you tell me who I can talk to? That's always the segue. Like for us, it's easy. If they don't drink coffee, then that's okay. We say, look, do you know anybody at work that does? Anybody at church? Anybody in your family that drinks coffee? It's real simple. And you could replace anybody that like to lose weight, have more energy. Anybody that like to quit their job. Anybody that like to be financially secure when they retire or double or triple their retirement. I mean, you don't have to be in our biz. You just, you need help with that, give me a call. I'll help you. The wording is important. So the idea is you have to get your people involved in contacting their warm market. Go 12 wide as fast as possible to identify those 4. And then don't just sit there on those 4 and hope and pray that they're going to go do something. Help them to go 12 deep. Okay? This process of 12 wide and 12 deep could take you, if it's 12 weeks, what is that? Here in Oklahoma, that's 3 months. Okay? It could take you another 3 months to get these people to go 12 deep. You're 6 months into the business and you got a nice check. You've reached your 2nd, 3rd, 4th pin level. Okay, so 12 wide and 12 deep, go to work, get off your butt, put some people in, turn those 100 into 300, and don't wake up tomorrow saying, I'm wondering what I should do in my business. Are you 12 wide? Are you 12 deep? Have you got your name list from people? Have you identified 4 people that's going to get on the phone and give you 100 names to turn that into 300? I mean, my gosh, it's endless. You never got to run an ad. You'd never have to call any of our leads. If you did it done right, you don't have to do any of the things that I do. Because I did it wrong to begin with. In my warm market, it's blown out of the water. Don't blow it out of the water. So anyway, guys, 12. And as they said in Amway, and I'll leave you with this, even Jesus went 12 wide. And that's how they sold us. So he had 12 disciples. So for us, all of us people, we just yeah, 12 wide. All right. So find a reason to get your team to go do it. And if you do it, it works. And if it works, you're free. And if you're free, you're happy. And if you're happy, you enjoy life a heck of a lot more. And I guarantee you what, guys, I'm speaking to guys right now. You want to know about women? It's security. And you get a check that comes in on the 15th of the month that you can hand to your wife, or that comes in electronically. And you can say, hey, look, honey, you know, it costs $6,000 a month for us to live. Here's a check for $6,100. Go pay all the bills. Guys, you do that. That is a life worth living, is because the security part's taken care of. Most guys, I don't worry about security. I mean, I could need $3,000 a day and I'd find a way to do it. That's just how I'm made. Most people aren't made that way. So freedom on the 15th. Be looking for that soon because we're coming out with that course soon. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you all later.